Hi, Dr. Bridget here with another prescription for success. Today we're going to be talking about leftovers, how to use them, whether to ditch them or keep them. So leftovers, we've just had Christmas in the UK and I'm sort of going to use it a bit as a metaphor because probably in the fridge I've got things like turkey, maybe Christmas pudding, there's probably some quality street on the table. There might be some interesting vegetables, maybe I've got some really interesting useful presents, and maybe I've got some that are less useful. And I think it's a metaphor for our life really. So if you think about over the last year, what have you got that you're still carrying around with you just in case, or just because someone's given you something and you think you should use it? Or what have you got that's been really, really useful and that you could use going forward and actually increase? So a couple of weeks ago we did a blog on 3 things that you want to be true by the end of 2021, and last week I talked about how to work backwards so that you have more time, more motivation, more sort of control over your life. And I just think, let's have a think about what are our leftovers from 2021. So in terms of the metaphor, I mean, it's certainly not useful for me to have a whole tin of Quality Street, nice though they may be, or Christmas pudding. But useful ones might be the turkey or some project books, things like that. And what is useful in your life? So maybe you could rinse and repeat those, increase them. So what's important to you? What values have you got that you need to tick more of? What beliefs have you got that are really empowering, that have helped you through the year? And what behaviours have you got that have worked really well and you just want to do more of them? And also about your thinking. So what's your thinking? I've had quite a few people contact me over the last week because their thinking isn't really in the right place to get their goals. And in order to work backwards, they've really lost that over the last year. And what's not useful? So maybe at an unconscious level your values aren't being ticked. So I did an interesting exercise the other day, which my top values for my business are determination, self-care, making a difference, and fun. And really I'm pretty determined, probably not doing the self-care that well, as I ended up in hospital a few weeks ago, but I'm fine now. Making a difference, yep, that's coming, but it's not that organised, and fun is definitely not really there. So I think I need to just tick more of my values. What I'll do is I'll put a little link to the values elicitation so that you can work out what your own are, because they're actually at an unconscious level and often not what you think. What behaviours have I had that have been useful? Well, I haven't really been anywhere, but in terms of unuseful behaviours, I'm not doing my filing. I think a couple of weeks ago I said on the blog, organisation is a big thing for me this year, and being organised and planning with the working backwards. That's something I need to do, and stop just sort of saying, oh well, I've done enough for today, I'm just going to go down and watch rubbishy telly. So I'm going to let go of that. So have a couple of lists. What's been useful for you in terms of your values, beliefs, behaviours, thoughts, and what's not been useful for you in terms of your values, beliefs, behaviours and thoughts. Have you got any issues, if you've got any challenges, if you want to talk things through with me so that you can actually get those 3 things that you're going to be true by the end of 2021 and work backwards and just enjoy your life, then just let me know. So I'll see you next week. Bye.